So this guy here is Miguel Pinho. His name is Miguel Pinho. He works with AS1, what we call as one football agency, as one sporting agency, and he is an agent. He is the agent of Bruno Fernandes. Now, 2 days ago, the news came that Bruno Fernandes has been offered a staggering £20 million deal by Galatasaray. Now, the Ineos group in Manchester United have decided to accelerate the contract extension negotiation of Bruno Fernandes in Manchester United. This is ASK Morgan Sports, and then we are here to give you the analysis as we always do. There seem to be a lot of coincidences in this particular development, and I'm here to help you unravel the coincidences. So first of all, Bruno Fernandes is the best player of Manchester United. He is the captain of Manchester United. And we are hearing that next week, Tuesday, on 25th, Tuesday, is going to be announced as the PFA Player of the Year. Now, given this, his current contract in Manchester United ends in 2027 next year. He signed it in 2024. I'll give more details on that. He signed it in 2024. It ends in 2027. And then there's an option of one other year extension. There's an option of one other year extension, which Manchester United has to trigger in any case. Now, the reason why I've put Miguel Pinho here for you to see is that there's a kind of pattern that is ongoing. Remember that, so Miguel Pinho represents a host of players. Nuno Mendes, he represents Luis Diaz and all of that. So when Luis Diaz was exiting Liverpool, it started with a contract negotiation where Liverpool was not willing to commit to the financial requirements or demands that Luis Diaz was making at the time. But what was apparent in that particular conversation was that Galatasaray had submitted a staggering offer for Luis Diaz in that same time. Now this time too, Galatasaray has submitted an offer for Bruno Fernandes. So that's the first coincidence, and I dare say it is not a coincidence. The connection is this guy, Miguel Pinho. That's how he does the job. He forces the team's hand to give him the money. If you don't give him the money, he will exhaust his contract and go out for free. If the Ineos group does not give Bruno Fernandes what he wants, he's going to walk away for free. What does Bruno want? Bruno is just asking for two things. Give me £400,000 a week, and then show me the sporting plan. Show me the plan. What is the project? What is the Ineos doing? Which players are you planning on bringing them in? How many years is the project going to mature? Yes, give me the plan. Let me know what we are doing. Because now Bruno Fernandes is 32 years, and he knows that the next contract extension he signs is going to be his last major contract extension he's going to sign in his career. Because beyond that, he's not getting any proper deal as a top elite player. Now, what it means is that even with this deal, he's likely going to get two and one additional year, so making it 35 years by the time he's 35 years. Now, Bruno says that show me the players you want to sign, show me the players you are bringing in, show me your vision for the club and how you are going to achieve that vision. Show me in the next 1 year where you want the club to be. Now, how long is it going to take you to achieve your vision that you have for the club? Show me that sporting plan, and then we can work together. But for now, what we have details of has to do with the money, the wages Bruno Fernandes is demanding. He is demanding £400,000. So currently, Bruno Fernandes is on a contract of £300,000 in Manchester United. When he signed in 2024, it was a £300,000, and then along the line, based on his performances, now he's earning £300,000. Manchester United has a wage structure where they put the players in brackets and then based on their performances. So when you look at the team, there's a group, the players are in certain groups. So you have Bruno Fernandes and now Marcus Rashford in one bracket. Then we have other players. From the 300 to the 250 range, where we have Matheus Cunha, we have Matthias De Ligt. All of these players find themselves in that category. Then the next category, we have players like Lisandro Martinez, we have Brian Mbeumo, all of these players in that particular category. Kobe Mainoo is also in that particular category. Before the last category, Sana Lamens and Patrick Dogu and all of those players are also in the last bracket. Now, as part of the capping system, Manchester United will not pay wages beyond £350,000. That is the capping system. Manchester United is not paying wages beyond £350,000. Now, what it means is that if Manchester United has to pay Bruno this £400,000, they would have to break their own pay structure, their own wage structure to give Bruno this money. And that has become the problem in Manchester United. The Ineos group are hell-bent on not repeating the mistakes that were made under Ed Woodward and John Merton and the other guys, to make sure that whatever they do it with the highest form of prudence, to make sure that they are not spending exorbitant amounts of money in areas. But more importantly, and why they are doing this, is because they have put the wages in brackets so that the wages will be close. You understand? The wages, what the players are earning, will be close, so that the wages of players will not be far apart. If players are earning way more than others on the pitch, what it means is that when they get to the pitch, now it will create a lot of sabotage, it will create a lot of tension in the dressing room and all of that. To do away with all of those things, Manchester United has decided to cap the wages into brackets and groups that you fall in, and no individual person can leap out of the bracket and be an isolated earner on the wage bill. But now here's the challenge. Bruno Fernandes has delivered. He doesn't owe Manchester United a thing. Since he came to Manchester United, he has delivered to Manchester United 2,000%. And so he deserves this money he's asking. And I'll give you 3 reasons why he deserves this money. But let me come back to the numbers. Now, the problem is that Manchester United is offering Bruno Fernandes a £350,000 deal. Then that means that they've recently increased the wages of Marcus Rashford as part of an ongoing arrangement where they increased most of the players who played a certain number of games and minutes under the previous season. And the agreement was that if the team returned to Champions League football, those players were going to be given the money. What baffles me so much is that based on the minutes and the games that they listed, some of the players who were particularly influential in Manchester United reaching the Champions League stage, because of injury and lack of minutes, they are not on the list of players who received the wage increments. Players like Lisandro Martinez and because of injury, they don't get to benefit. Then a player like Marcus Rashford, who didn't kick a ball for Manchester United, but because he made those minutes in Barcelona, he gets the pay rise. And then other players in Manchester United who had broken their bone to keep Manchester United active did not get the pay rise. And for me, that is the foundation of this problem, and has created the opportunity for Mikel Pinho to pounce on and exploit. And he's doing it perfectly. With the current deal that Manchester United has offered Bruno Fernandes, he's going to be earning £350,000 a week. That brings him to like 18 million. And then if they deduct the 45% tax, he's going to end up with 9 million and all of that. And that is why the deal from Galatasaray is very, very crucial and important in shaping this conversation. Mikel Pinho has been able to get Galatasaray to tell Bruno Fernandes that we can give you 20 million tax-free. So annually, you are going to receive 20 million pounds tax-free. Now, what you are getting here is 18 million plus taxes. You understand? So it is going to force Manchester United's hand undoubtedly to increase to increase the offer to that 400,000. And if Miguel Pinho decides to play ball based on the Galatasaray deal on the table, he may even go for more than 400,000 pounds. But I think realistically, what makes sense is for Bruno Fernandes to receive his 400,000 pounds a week and then pay the taxes of it, because then his performances have delivered. It does not make any sense for him and Rashford to be earning the same thing at Manchester United. Loyalty issues, performance issues, all of those things coming into the picture. Bruno Fernandes is miles ahead. And you see, Bruno Fernandes is the captain of Manchester United. And since becoming captain, he has led with example. And he's that guy that when it comes to Manchester United, is the one that holds the system together. Now, we heard somewhere in June that Bruno Fernandes had been offered to Juve and then AC Milan. Now, the trick is that I told you that Miguel Pinho is belongs to the AS1 agency as one agency. And do you know who that agency represents? Ruben Amorim. The agency represents Ruben Amorim as well, and so it was easy for that in-house conversation to go on and AC Milan to show interest in Bruno Fernandes. Of course, we know he's a crucial player for Manchester United, and so that was the first step in getting Manchester United to accelerate Bruno Fernandes' contract extension. But the Ineos group didn't see the light. Now Galatasaray had to make it very clear to them, and lo and behold, after the links with Galatasaray came, now Manchester United accelerated their move to extend the young man's contract. Now, here are the issues. So the first one is that, like I told you, I am having this feeling that Miguel Pinho is doing all of these to make sure that Manchester United will give Bruno Fernandes more money. I do not think Bruno genuinely, legitimately wants to leave Manchester United. But if they don't give him the 400,000 pounds, he's going to exhaust his contract and then walk away for free. Yes, you heard me right. He's going to exhaust his contract, walk away for free, and go and sign a very lucrative deal, receive the signing on bonus, get some 100% image rights deal, and then move on. Here are the issues. So last summer, when Al Hilal sent a bid of 100 million to the Ineos group, they accepted it. They wanted to take it until Bruno Fernandes himself rejected it. Now, later on, Bruno Fernandes spoke, and then he said that there are players in the team who do not sacrifice like him. But those of them who are sacrificing, the team is not thinking twice about expelling them. And he says that hurts him. That hurts him, that they are not valued that much. And so it is something that is worrying Bruno Fernandes. To put the icing on the cake, it has been listed in my next point here, and so I'll mention it later on. Now the next thing is that this particular action created an impression in the minds of the fans to doubt the passion of the Ineos group towards Manchester United. Because who on earth is going to sell Bruno Fernandes? What would you use 100 million for in today's market that Bruno Fernandes cannot give you? You may even spend more than 100 million on players who come and they will not deliver. So the supporters began to suspect the Ineos group that these people may be in for a cash-out season. Just that because United placed 15th in the previous season, they were trying to get Brian Mbeumo, Matheus Cunha, and then Benjamin Sesko to come and get the team back on track. So at that point in time, their back was against the wall. But the supporters suspected that no, these people to have considered to sell Bruno Fernandes is an abomination. It's a grave crime that we cannot overlook. But that's notwithstanding. Beyond that, in 2024, when he was signing, he gave a very strict condition to his contract extension. Before he signed that contract extension, he gave a very strict condition. He said that the team should prioritize bringing in quality players to augment the existing squad. And so his signing was in connection to the kind of signings the team was going to bring in. And truth of the matter is that we are in a transfers window season, this 2026 window, summer window, where Manchester United is failing to spend. Manchester United is refusing to spend. Went to Bruno Fernandes, refused to splash the 85 million pounds. Went to Sandro Tonali, refused to give Newcastle United the 100 million pounds, and all of that. Swept all of the expensive players. And even right now, that most players think the team needs reinforcement on the left wing back, left full back position, and in midfield, the Manchester United, the Ineos group are pretending to make it look like everything is okay. So I'm sure what Bruno Fernandes is doing is that he's just being the captain to get them, to put them on their track, because on their toes, because now we have just 2 weeks to end the transfer window. And so once the negotiation is open, I'm certain it will be part of Bruno Fernandes' demands that, look, they have to show a clear-cut project. They have to show a clear-cut commitment towards the project. They have to deliver certain players to the team. Yes, and this is Bruno being the captain. Now, after his 2024 signing, they've done very well to bring in players like Lenny Yoro, like I've told you, Senna Lamens, Matheus Cunha, Brian Mbeumo, Benjamin Sesko, which has been great as we've seen their performances and the quality they add to the Manchester United game. However, I think Bruno wants more. That is why he's doing this. He wants them to sign more players. Now, one of the main reasons why this is happening is the increment they gave to Marcus Rashford. Somebody who openly rebelled against the club. He belittled the club. He felt that he was bigger than the club. But when he went and then he hit a roadblock and then he came, United couldn't find a way to avoid increasing this guy's wage. Then they increased his wage along with what they were doing for everybody, or for the players who had qualified. And they added Marcus Rashford, and they pegged Marcus Rashford with Bruno Fernandes. This is Bruno telling Manchester United that I am Bruno Fernandes. I'm the best player in this team, and you have to give me what I want. And I perfectly agree with Bruno Fernandes that he has to take every single penny that he deserves. When you go to other clubs, there are salary caps, but it reflects the performances of the players. So, for example, when you go to Manchester City, Erling Haaland is receiving a staggering huge amount, reflecting his performance. Now that Manchester United are back in the Champions League, their wages should reflect the existing performance. You go to Chelsea, Cole Palmer and co are receiving hefty amounts that are commensurate with their performances. And so Bruno just deserves more than even what he's asking for. Now, in the coming days, we would look to see whether Manchester United will give him the 400,000 or they would look at him to exhaust his contract and then walk away. My bet is that United are going to break. They are going to break their salary structure. Yes, and fine. Or if some good money comes, I mean, the Ineos will not be shameless enough to take the money and then go. In the coming days, we live to see how it will go. We are hoping Bruno Fernandes signs a contract extension and stays at Manchester United. For his quality, we need him in the Premier League. But it is in the hands of the Ineos group now. And Miguel Pinho would do everything that is needed, he would employ every necessary tool to get Manchester United to give them the money. This has been an ASK Morgan production. You can follow us on TikTok. Please subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Like the video, and please go to the comment section and tell us what you think. Tell us what you don't like about our work, and we will tailor it perfectly to suit you. Thank you so much.